Hi guys.
Hey guys.
Welcome back. Well, we should say we're back to our channel. We took a much needed break. For those of you who don't know us and are joining our channel for the very first time, I'm Laura.
And I'm Carlos.
And this channel is called Our Journey on Pico Island.
I gotta be honest, I know Laura needed the break, but you know what, so did I. And it was good to take it off. We also changed to releasing it on Sunday. It just gets so overwhelming. I mean, obviously we just share once a week a little bit of ourselves and what we're doing, and there's a lot of other things going on. Like everybody's lives, there's always not just one thing. There's people that have kids, and in our case we don't have kids, we have a cat, but we were always doing different things, trying to figure out solutions for things that we need to work on in the future, and we just were burned out.
I'm so tired. God damn it, I'm exhausted.
For those of you who are new, we're actually in Canada, and we travel back and forth to Canada and Pico Island Azores.
Yeah, that's our, I guess, best of both worlds lifestyle.
Yes. Yeah. And I wanted to share with our followers something exciting. Yeah. That we had a small mention in one of our local magazines called West of the City. And it was very nice. It's just kind of talking about our channel, and it was great to see that.
Yeah, I mean, it was a surprise, and just a little brief mentioning of our channel. Yeah. And
every little bit helps.
No, it's great. Thanks, West of the City. It's one of probably the best magazine in our area here, I think.
Yeah.
And,
so we are working very hard to get these videos out to you, just to promote Pico Island, and we hope that you guys enjoy these videos and you're getting lots of information from them. And if you are, please subscribe and hit that like button, because it really helps the algorithm. It takes a lot of time to do these videos, and buying equipment and things like that. So if you notice below, there's a little contribution button. If you guys would like to support our channel, we would really, really appreciate it.
Let's get going. We were excited to come up with this this type of video to do with the real estate, buying property in the islands and the Azores, because we noticed that, and YouTube tells us that it's always the one that gets the most views, the most attention, because I know there's a lot of interest. So we thought, you know what, this probably is the perfect time to do it. We have been getting we always get questions on and off on this subject, and most of them are positive. A lot of it has to do with expats or even immigrants thinking of going and buying a vacation home, or actually living there pretty much as their main home, which a lot of people are doing that we know. And we thought we'd do this video. We have done similar videos to this. Now we thought to label this one a year later. We kind of bought our home in the middle of COVID, and this is about a year and a half, maybe almost close to 2.
It was November 2020 that we actually closed on the house. And then it took time to get it started, renovations. But we thought, let's just look back, share with you what we think, what we feel about buying, and how the markets are, and what's new, what's changed.
What's changed? Do we feel the same about this? Do we hate now something we used to like? And I thought this would be the perfect time to do it, because the interest keeps growing on the islands, and just like our video, just like our channel and our videos, we just share our experience. We're not experts in real estate, we're not experts in building homes or renovations. We just share our experience and then kind of guide you and point you into the context that we've built along the way, and this is what this video is about. Before getting started in sharing with you, some of you might not know a lot about this area of the planet, and very briefly, Azores, 9 islands in the middle of the North Atlantic. About 5 hours flying time from Toronto, 4.5 from Boston, they're about 2 hours to Lisbon. Nothing around us except ocean and nature. A lot of marine life, whales.
Oh my god. Oh my god, I'm gonna cry.
phone. Oh my god.
It's incredible. So that's the Azores. It's the 7th region of Portugal, the country. A lot of you, I know Portugal, and some of you think Portugal is just the Algarve, but Portugal is an amazing country with 7 regions, 5 on the mainland, and you have the Azores, and you have Madeira. So the Azores is a combination of New Zealand, Hawaii, and Iceland. Okay, this is what a lot of people say, that I visit all those places. I have been to Hawaii, and I see the comparison. I have not been to New Zealand or Iceland. So that's the Azores for you, and but we'll put a link to visit Azores site, and so you can get a little bit more information. Another question we get is it still affordable? Has it shot up like these other markets like crazy with masses of people coming in? I don't think so. We don't think so. We haven't seen that at expats. Yes, there's an influx, there's an upward trend in the market, but it's nothing like...
It's not like droves of people coming in.
It's not. Yes.
You know, buying up properties. And
No. Is it affecting the market? Of course, it's progress. So anywhere you have a popular destination where tourists come, they love it, they're going to want to maybe buy, spend some time. At the end of the day, obviously some of the people that live there might, and we do get some comments where they think it's affecting the prices going up and they won't be able to afford it. I agree to a certain extent. At the end of the day, these any money coming from the outside, from expats or immigrants,
it goes right back into the
economy. I mean, it's based, it goes to paying for workers and employment and all that stuff. So it's a double thing. I get it. Listen, if we buy another property, we want it to get it lower, not higher. It's going to affect us as well. And we all have our budgets and what we can spend, right? So when someone is looking at the Azores, they're looking at, they have a certain amount of money, and if that's their budget, they're looking at other destinations that are sought after, right? Like the Mediterranean or the Caribbean, that money will not buy. Where in the Azores or areas of Portugal, they can, and for them that's the value. The value is to be in this island and to have this property. I'm good with this. It's all I need, and that's my budget. That's what we're finding, and people are looking to come to the islands for the right reason.
They're coming for the peace and the tranquility.
Yes.
And just more of a simple life.
Simple life. And safety plays a big part of it, the beauty obviously, but there's beautiful islands all over the planet, beautiful countries and so forth. But you need, they're coming, I believe, for the right reasons. No, I'm not saying people are not going to make money on their investment. It goes up. It's like anywhere else where you live in most cases, in most places, like we live in Canada, obviously. That happens here. Now they're trying to control, the prices getting too expensive.
Yeah, but there is a range of prices that you can find on the islands. You can go from 50,000 euros for a ruin.
Basically.
Obviously, you have to spend a lot of money to fix that up. So you can go from 50,000 euros all the way up to 500,000.
Yeah, finding affordability, like for example, in our case, I said, look, I have a feeling we're going to find a gem. That's just how I kept putting it, and we did. You need a bit of luck, and you got to be able to, for example, in our case, we're on Pico Island. The hardest thing on Pico Island is to find something that does not have ocean view, for example. So you're always going to have that around the island. If you go to the areas where more people are going to, and maybe let's call it the sought after area of the island, yeah, they're going to pay more. But then you can get the same type of house, same type of land, property with the same kind of view. Somewhere else would be a lot less expensive. So you would have to make that decision. Okay, I'm okay there, and I'm within my budget, and I can get my 70,000 or 100,000 gem. In most cases, from what we've seen, anything under 100,000 or even 150,000, a lot of times will need some work. I would say, like Laura mentioned, 50, 60 will need a lot of work. Okay, but some people want that.
Yeah, but then you can also buy a piece of land and build your own house on it.
Yeah.
Actually, we met a lady down the road from where our land is, and she built this house.
Yes.
An amazing job.
Amazing job. Yeah.
She was. She actually used to live close to us here in Mississauga.
Yeah. So that's I think Portugal, as laws go, they're opening up to other forms of building, not only the traditional with the lava rock or with blocks. They're looking at maybe wood with soft steel, which is the case of the lady she's referring to, which is a lot quicker. Prefabs, you know, this is the thing, because you know what, that's one way to get around the labor problem.
Yeah, the labor shortage.
Labor shortage.
So the workers for this woman that we're mentioning, she brought them over from San Miguel, the bigger island, and all of the materials and everything she needed to build this house was put into cargo crate and brought over.
Yeah, I mean, the company that put up the framing, which is a huge part of it, is from Lisbon. They're a company that do framing, LSF, I guess, light steel frames. I think that's, and we kind of just couldn't believe it how quickly it went up. I think she had that up in a month, where otherwise could be 6, 7. That's good, because it gives competition. The people there that have been spoiled all these years, the builders, the big builders, now have to adjust, because otherwise you're literally controlled. You're at their mercy constantly. It's horrible. And they can drive up the prices. I think this is a way to control it. And the government needs to open up and realize that. They can't just say, look, come to the Azores, come to Portugal, beautiful country. We want you to come. We need to, you invest your money in our economy and help us grow, without giving you room to do it properly, giving you the tools to do it properly, and allowing it through the laws. And I think that's one thing that's definitely changing, that we didn't know when we first bought. When you go there for a holiday for a month or two, you come back, but spending all the time, we were learning all these things. We were feeling that, by being there, and we're constantly, even from here, we're kind of learning more, because, that's part of it, and we want to share this with you. And I think that's why we wanted to do this video. From the feedback that we're getting and the people we're talking to, the interest on these islands is not going to go down. People that are coming are like-minded in most cases, because they're all connected to the nature and the peace. So that's good. Let's put it this way: if you want a nightlife, you party all night, nightclubs, discos, there's better places than these islands.
Although they can party all night.
We have a lot of fun on the islands. I'm telling you, right now, between May and October, we got lots of feasts, festivals, religious stuff, a lot of fun people having a good time, concerts, popular bands come from the outside. Oh no, that continues. But obviously some people want the city guy, I would say in the Azores, if you want the city night, you'd have to go to San Miguel or Terceira to really get
but then you have more noise, right? So you've got more cars, and
it just depends. These islands, and the specific quieter islands, will call.
So a little bit about our property that we purchased. We purchased our property for 70,000 euros, and what came with this property, which we were surprised about, was half acre of land right next door to the house, and as well as a little lava rock house, historic lava rock house. So we were very, very surprised about that. So we decided that we were going to do some renovations because the house was a little bit cut up. So Carlos took down some walls, and we ripped out the kitchen because there wasn't much of a kitchen there. We also added an extension from the kitchen. There was a big oven that they used to use back in the old days that we took out. That took a little bit longer to complete, but it's pretty much completed now. We actually have the windows in now and the sliding door.
Talking about renovations, obviously I think that's the 5% is a bit negative for us, because we did think it would be quicker. Okay, now I know it's consensus around the islands that things run slower, and the key is to find, someone that can only work for you. Sometimes it's hard to do. It's getting that understanding from the beginning that they are only working for you, not 3 other jobs. So it just slows everything down. COVID didn't help. But anyways, we're still going. Our renovations are in upward progress, but slow. Right, so
so the next work that's going to be done on the house is the roof. So we already have the guys started. They've probably already started. So we're going to insulate the roof, and the next job would be to do the drywall on the inside. So we're hoping that those 2 jobs go along a little bit quicker.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, we're at their mercy. Now it's just something you have to consider when you do buy a property.
If you're willing to buy a little bit more of a rustic house, can you handle doing the renovations? If you're really handy, that's great. Or else, and you'll probably pay a little bit less for that house. If you want a house that's already turnkey, move-in ready, then you're going to pay obviously a little bit more. But it would probably be less stress.
Yeah, but talk about the labor. Talk about, is there availability of people to work? Up front, really analyze that. And if you need to wait a little bit to get the right person, I think it's worth waiting, because in the long run, it'll actually be quicker. Okay, and might even be more affordable. Now, if you have to pay a little bit extra to get the right person, that's okay, because it's worth it. Okay, it goes into the quality will go into the labor, to the work that's being done, and into getting the place done and ready for you to start living.
Now, one thing you want to be aware of is FOMO. What does FOMO mean? Fear of missing out. This is where you could actually end up overpaying for properties because you don't want to miss out. But understand this, guys, there's still properties. You will find properties there, and we want you to take your time in finding the property that best suits you.
Yeah, because I always say that the most important, number 1, is to find the island. There's 9. Find the right island. And then when you find that island, the island's going to have a lot of cool areas around it. Similar but different. Find the right area, and obviously find the right property. And I think taking your time will allow you to do that. Obviously, you can't take ages to do it, but
and an agent will help you with this process.
Yeah,
the right agent.
Right. Yeah. Start doing your research. Like, we got a lot of people that haven't been there yet, and we're in touch with, and they're like, we answer as many questions as we can, or we refer them to someone, to the source that could answer those questions better for them. So, but this is where we keep telling people we have to calm them down at times. People that have already come to the island, we showed them around. A year ago or so, they were so excited, and we loved that. But we also had to say, look, don't worry, you're gonna find a place. You're gonna just take your time, get the island in you, connect with the island. If it's not Pico, then it could be St. George or Faial or other islands. Okay, and that's the only way to do it, is to do that visit. And if you can stay longer than a week, 2 weeks or more, that's the best. Okay, don't just come for a day. It's not going to work.
So now we do have a few agents that we can recommend. Now, mind you, keep in mind that we didn't go through an agent when we bought our house, but we have talked to a few agents that we feel comfortable recommending.
Yeah, we'll actually give you the names a little bit further on the video. I think we should mention the experience we had with a follower. His name is Paul, that came over when we were still there before we came to Canada this time, and an agent took him around. We went with him, and it was pretty good.
Yeah, because we
had a great experience.
Yeah, and it was fun for us too, because we actually went into a couple of these houses to really see what it was like, and we went to a small house in Cemetery, which is where our house is, and the agent showed us around. then we went to another house which was newly renovated. In the end, Paul decided that he wanted to buy in San Miguel, which is the biggest city, biggest island in the Azores, and he bought some land there. Eventually, he's going to start building his own house there.
Yeah, I think he's looking at the Pico as well, and but he took his time. I thought that we kind of said, Paul, just take your time. He's already familiar with San Miguel. He was there a couple times before, but the experience for us was going with the agent and just kind of going along. And we did it a few times, even with a few of our other followers, and also getting the feedback from the followers, what they're experiencing. And I think that's important for us, and then we can pass it on to you. And
yeah, actually, what I do know from experience and going to see some of these houses that they're not staged. Don't expect these houses to be staged.
Yeah, you already probably saw that on some of the platforms. That's not a thing that they're high on, like they are here in Canada or North America, where you got a stage, you hire a stage, and they could, no.
Yeah.
You know what? It's transparent. And what better way? This is what you see is what you get.
And most times, if you buy a property, you end up taking all the furniture and everything else that's in it.
If you want it, In our case, we had great furniture, really nice stuff, and we kept it, sure. But yeah, these are all things that you learn along when you start the adventure of looking for a property. You'll see, you're going to see different types, styles, and but the key is, again, agent, having the right agent to take you along this trip with you.
So something that tends to happen on these islands is that the prices get inflated.
Yeah, that's one thing that I really hate, but it does happen. And again, the reputable agent will not do this. I know that they have a certain way to price out a property, and I think they stick by that. But there's some that they do inflate it.
And that doesn't help the seller either, because then the house ends up sitting on the market for quite a long time.
Yeah, and a good agent will acknowledge this, and actually some of this information comes from that agent that they're saying, well, it's unfortunate, but it does happen.
But that's why it's good to deal with a reputable agent too, because they have past history on sales on the islands, so you can get a better idea of where the price point should be at.
Yeah, and I've noticed some properties that are way above. They're just trying to see if they can get it, and obviously to get higher commissions, basically, what it comes down to. And it'll convince the seller to do this. And sometimes these sellers they can be somebody that doesn't really understand, and they say, okay, no problem.
And it also, I think, really tells you that this agent's not really interested in selling this property, because if an agent was really interested in selling a property, they're going to price it at the right price, so everybody wins and it doesn't take forever.
Yeah, if it's priced right, I mean, even if it's priced a little lower, if the 2, 3, 4 buyers want their property, they're making the price go up, not the agent, right? And I've seen properties that are way overpriced, and they're still sitting in the market after a year or two. In my opinion, they will never sell unless it's someone that really
has the fear of missing out.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, some of these are like, this is incredibly too expensive.
As mentioned, there are a few agents that we feel comfortable referring. One of them is Renz at Azores Properties, and his office is in Faial, and he has a wonderful website, and this is how professional agents should look like.
Yeah, we had experience in meeting him, and we see, I mean, we always look from the outside, and definitely a great website, and he keeps improving his business, and he's involved in various things, and the feedback we've received and talked to people that have used them, all positive. So that's why we feel comfortable referring or mentioning, talking about Azores Properties, and because we never used a real estate agent, so we didn't go through that process of using an agent, all that, but we do learn from other people, and Ren's Azores Properties, they sell mostly in Faial and growing on Pico as well.
Yes, and he also owns a construction company, so if you do buy property that you need to fix up, he can help you with that process too.
Yeah, that's an area that he's doing very well in. He took us, actually, when we were there, first time we met him, he took us for a little tour of a couple of the places that he was renovating. Amazing work, and then you can see the completion part of it, and I think he has all the main bases covered, and the link I'm actually going to use, of which I'll go over quickly, the process of buying or selling a property. I'm going to put that on the description, so you can quickly go in there and can see what a good agent needs to and will take care of for you. The other two agents that we've met, and we know some of our friends and expats have used. His name is Rui Avila. He's very good, service oriented, and willing to help you. And I think he has his site as a company. It's called EAD, and you can check him out as well. So
yeah, very, very honest.
Very honest, transparent, from what we understand, and we've talked to him quite a few times. He showed us a few properties around. The other one is Azores Real Estate, and that's Annabella Castro, and she's the one that actually shown the house to Paul on Pico.
And all these agents speak very good English.
Yeah, which is important. So, I mean, we try to be neutral, but we're obviously can only refer the ones we have some contact with, and then put it out there to you guys.
Yes, and again, we advise you to do your due diligence in every aspect of buying a property.
Yeah, obviously it's important. I always feel when I'm trying to connect with someone on in any area, any type of businesses, I also have to like them. I have to have that gut, and have to. It's where to explain. So there might be sometimes people are really good at something and you just don't connect, and then you have to move on. You know what I mean? Because you have to have other things go along with servicing a business as well.
So we're going to mention a few platforms that you can go on and start investigating different properties for sale. But one thing you have to understand is they don't take very good pictures, and sometimes they don't even take pictures on the inside. It's only the outside. And some properties that have been sold have not been taken off these platforms.
For months, yeah. I mean, it's, so there's quite a few, and some of these, I think the only one really that I kind of tend to go to, one is Idealista. Everyone knows that one. At least that one's a half decent site. It's clean, and then these are either private people, sellers, or agents listing on there, and eventually you wind up with the agent, right?
Yeah, so that's a good place to start your research.
Yeah, but I will put the link of the agent sites on the description, because like we were saying, the agent sites, the good ones, have all the information there. It goes beyond the property. It goes, the process, everything will be on there. I think that's gives you a lot of great information, where most of the other platforms is just listings. It's like a classified, and these some of these are just some of them don't even make sense. You know, like you click on it, it's something else. You know what I mean? So you have to be aware of those. So.
Yeah, because I think that's one thing that we also saw was that some of these places that are for sale, they've actually put renderings up. So that's not the house that you're buying. And then when you go in to look at the photos, the end photos are actually a ruin. So you just want to make sure.
It could be confusing, right?
Yeah, a little bit misleading, I think.
Yeah, so use the right agent. That
is the key.
The key. And if you happen to find a place directly with a seller, then get someone that could advise you on that. Like in our case, we had our notary and knew a lot of English. We also talked to our banker, right, in our case, you know. So they became our guardians, our support, and then they spoke English, and that was amazing, right?
Yeah, because one of the great things about when we got our mortgage is it was the bank that did the inspection on the property.
Yes, and we didn't even plan on getting a mortgage. It just happened that, look, we're able to do it. So, and it was, 1.5% or 2% or something like that. It was incredible. And we said, no, why not, right? And we definitely would do it again. We wanted to touch on Pico and Faial. These two islands, we obviously mentioned them as the islands that we're noticing an upward trend in the market, where a lot of people are becoming more interested, and even St. George. But right now I thought I'd just leave some brief information on Pico and Faial, just areas. So we both love all the islands we visited, honestly, but we are on Pico, and Faial is our neighbor, and St. George. So now on Pico, it's the second largest island, so there are a lot of areas, right? So there you get like most islands, you get the ocean and you get the mountain, the country and ocean together. I mean, we love that kind of feel, you know. And Pico has areas that there's 3 municipalities: Lajes, Madalena, São Roque. Each municipality or district has their little towns and villages, and each one of them has ocean views. It would be very hard, like I mentioned, to find something without an ocean view. And again, as you discover the island of Pico, you will kind of get to these areas, and you're going to feel attached to 1 or 2 or 3 of these areas for whatever reason. You have your own reason.
Yeah, and Pico is known as the Wine Island.
Yeah, Wine Island, whale
watching.
And wine
climbing
for sure.
Pico.
Climbing the highest altitude of Portugal. It's about 8,000 feet above sea level. If you were to take the water away from the Atlantic Ocean completely, this is the top of the highest mountain range. One of the highest mountain ranges, called Mid-Atlantic Ridge. So you would be standing, if you're on top of Pico, on one of the top 2, I guess, highest on the planet, if you take the water away. So Pico has a lot to offer. You have a lot of access to the whole island, in the highlands and in the coast. You get 2 different amazing types of, how do you describe it? It's hard to describe. We're driving to areas we drive before, and we're just taking it all in. It's like, wow, you're in the country now, like Ireland or Switzerland or something like that.
Yeah.
20 minutes later, you're right by the coast and the lava
jumping
coast.
In the ocean.
Yeah, so Pico's like that. All the islands have those elements. Pico being one of the highest, will have that upper plateau. With little lakes, and
now keep in mind also that Pico doesn't have sand beaches.
Some of the islands do not have actual beach. I think half of them do, or you have these watering lava formations, which becomes like these ocean pools. Very healthy for you with the minerals and iron and so forth, and we love that. And obviously, if you're on Pico, you need to have that sand under you, just hop over to Faial. They have the beaches there, so you're never far from the beach.
Yeah. Now, speaking of Faial, all you have to do is hop on a ferry. It's 25 minutes, and you're on Faial.
You're on Faial, so sisters, right? In 1 hour, you're in St. George, the Triangle Islands. So I think that's one reason why a lot of people are looking at this area, because you have access to other quickly. You can get to other islands by ferry. You don't always got to get on an airplane.
They do call this the Triangle Islands. So St. George, Faial, and Pico.
So the areas of Pico, like I was saying, you could find whichever you feel more attached to, and then hopefully it's within your budget, and hopefully there's a property for sale, because in some of these areas there are no property. You won't find any, because maybe they only have it's a small area. But the only way to find out is to go drive around and find out for yourself.
obviously, if you want to learn more about Pico Island specifically, you can just scroll through our videos.
Yeah, we have a lot of them on Pico. Okay, road trips, trips to the lake, coast, endless.
Yes.
Okay.
Now let's talk about Faial.
Faial, the blue island, a smaller island, so easy to access it as well. Very unique areas. Capelinhos, which is the most recent volcanic eruption and extended island. They're actually using, I just heard about it the other day, for people, they're trying to study Mars, the planet of Mars. They're coming over to this new area of the island that was formed and using it for that purpose because of the origin of the lava and the soil and so forth. It's very interesting. It's an awesome spot. But other areas like Capello, which is right by this area that I'm mentioning, Varadouro, Horta, Almusharif, Augustus. I mean, there's a lot.
And the beaches.
And there's a dark sand beach,
Yeah.
and they have a gold sand beach. It's always, we always have a great time when we hop over.
Mm-hmm.
They have Peter Cafe, the world famous cafe, which is been there for over 100 years. One of the most beautiful marinas in the planet is in Horta, the city there.
Yeah, so if you want to hop over for a weekend, you just need a little change of scenery.
Yeah,
Right.
so either
Easy to do.
Easy to do. Either buying a property on Faial or Pico. It's so easy to be. They're almost attached, and then with an extension to St. George.
Actually, we know people that own a house in Faial, but then they have their cottage over on Pico.
Pico or vice versa.
Right?
So yes, so can't go wrong. Obviously, there's all these other islands there, or not, the other remaining islands. They all have their own character, beauty. I haven't visited all of them. I can't wait to do so. I mean, we wouldn't rule out buying something on maybe one of the other islands. Why not?
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people do think that way, and aside from being a great investment, I think it would be a great way to immerse yourself in nature, to have access to these type of islands, the Azores.
So why choose the Azores? Well, the Azores definitely checks a lot of the boxes. You've got peace, tranquility, security, cost of living especially.
Lower, affordable.
It's very affordable, and you can grow things pretty much anything all year round.
Yeah, the fertile soil. The nature is just, the nature, I guess, is what just hits you sometimes. It's everywhere. I mean, either on the ocean, on land, the forests, the lakes. It's
even the air quality. It smells different.
It does. No, I have been to Hawaii. I've spent some time there, and the similarities of the volcanic origin is the same, right? And the air is always amazing. The ocean, and it's very similar. Obviously, there's more tourism, and not all the islands, but some of them. But the Azores. Pico, we spent a lot of time there. We've been to St. George, Faial, Terceira, San Miguel. We've been to those. There's always something, and even things that you're used to seeing every day, or you always aware of it. And I think, and we always appreciate being there. We always look to each other and say, "Wow, even bad weather, right? Laura likes storms, and some of you that know us, that, and
yeah, that's one thing to mention is that the climate.
Yes,
it's average about 16 degrees in the winter time, and about 27, 28 in the summertime.
Yeah, and in the summer the water might reach 24 around there. It's the Atlantic Ocean, so it's always a little colder than, let's say, the Caribbean.
But you still get the Gulf Stream that comes through, so it is definitely warmer. Say if you're in Lisbon.
Absolutely, and I think this all adds to the intense nature, right? You have the Gulf Stream, you have where it is on the planet, not a lot of pollution, almost none in that area because there's nothing around. It's just it's like a sanctuary of marine life. I mean, it's incredible. Mm-hmm. And when if you don't like doing nature on the water, you have the nature on land. Everything you can think of, you can do there. If you want to do nothing, that's great because it's perfect for that. Just sit down, look at the ocean, the vineyards, islands, the mountains, countryside.
Look at the waves.
The waves. I mean, again, you don't have to do anything if you don't want to, but the activities are there. I mean, we've done ATV. You can do cycling. We can do boat tours. We can do
done
sailing, whale watching, kayaking, scuba diving, fishing, canyoning, etc., etc. So it's all there for how active you want to be or not.
And one of the great things too about the Azores is their infrastructure. It is modern.
Portugal in general, I mean, they got it. It's modern.
Yeah, because it's not like when you go to the Caribbean islands. You know, it's a lot more advanced.
I believe so, and I think it's more European, right? We're part of Europe. You can see the characteristics there, and I think you don't really, everything's there. It comes in from the mainland. There's both, ships coming in. There's nothing we miss really. You have all if you want a 60-inch TV, you got it. One thing that's Portugal actually, with a few other countries, lead the way is in sustainability, in gold, platinum, eco, kind of. Systems that they're putting in place, things to protect the planet, to control the pollution that's all over our planet, and they're protecting the animals, the marine. We see that there. So sometimes people are attracted to that because they know they could help too. Every little bit that we can do to the environment.
And one thing that we found, even showing these videos, a lot of people make comments on how clean the islands are.
Yeah, actually, where we swim, I forgot to mention to Laura, they just given it the top flag of quality, gold. I think it's called the gold quality of Lage, where we usually go swimming in the village of Lage on Pico. Mm-hmm. They just put the flag up, and right now it's probably one of the top places in Europe. It's rare to get this flag to that extent, but most of the places around the island of Pico, where we are most of the time, and the other islands, pollution is minimal, and so you can really tell. You get those blue oceans, you get the clarity, and we do a lot of snorkel. We can see the marine life around us.
So it's not just us giving you this information. We know quite a few expats that have already moved to these islands, especially Pico and Faial, and the feedback that we get from them is very positive.
Yeah, I've had some really nice conversations. We've been invited to some of what we're calling expats, but they're not like
they're friends.
Picarots or Faialins. They're part of the fabric of the island, and for a barbecue. And a lot of times it's they're mixing with the people that are already from there. They made friends, just like we made friends.
Yeah, they're really integrating themselves into the communities,
and they're adding to the community. That's why I think it's so important to have this, to the immigrants, to go back and spend time, and having expats interested and deciding to make the islands their home. And some of the conversations, it always leads to, I can't believe I'm here. I can't believe, look at this, look at the sunset, the ocean, look at the air. It's a lot of this, a few drinks, but a lot of, and you can see the emotion. They're emotional talking about it, just like we got emotional too when we are experiencing, and I actually got shivers right now, but when you're experiencing this kind of, because we were feeling it all together. And there's some places that I visited, I feel very similar. I've been to Santorini, Greece, where it's like incredible. I felt that kind of nature, like the same kind of feel that I'm seeing even in Hawaii. Those are places that I've definitely felt, at parts of Italy as well. And I just think that when we're in a table with 15, 20 people, half of them are new people to the islands. Now they're getting integrated. This is what island life is all about, and I think this is what a lot of people are looking for, and they're looking forward to finding somewhere around the planet that they can be themselves and find other like-minded people where they could just come together and share.
Because we are getting a lot of comments, questions, either through YouTube or through email about how to move to the Azores, how to buy property in the Azores, the process that's involved, we thought maybe it would be a good idea to do some kind of a workshop on location in Pico. So we are working with a partner to kind of go over all the logistics of doing this, but what we'd really love from you guys is feedback. Is this something you would be interested in?
The workshops would have someone from real estate, they'd have the banker, they would have the notary, a lawyer, et cetera, et cetera. So you'd get to meet them, you can then have their contacts, and during these workshops, you're going to learn about all the islands of the Azores, you're going to connect with us, the team, you're going to connect with the island and beyond.
Yeah, and even doing some activities on the
Definitely
island.
Activities, because you want to know, aside from the workshops and the contacts and having that information, you want to connect with the Azores. You're going to be on Pico, but we're also going to go to Faial or St. George. You'll get a good taste, okay? And along the way, you're going to learn about these important things that you need to know before deciding to buy a property.
What better way to do this than do it with other like-minded people?
I've talked to a lot of people that are just waiting to come or are considering coming. They're going to come over. If we can tie this in with a very informative workshop, integration quickly into what the island and the islands are all about.
You can contact us through our website. We'll leave the email as well if you are interested.
Oh, and one other thing that actually our partner came up with is we can videotape the whole event and organize it, package it in a way for people that can't come to there physically. It's something we just talked about that I thought was brilliant, because I think we can come up with really good look into this possibility of moving or buying a property in the Azores.
So guys, we're going to end the video. We really hope that you received a lot of information from this video. And again, we are going to put the links in the description so you can do your own research.
Like the video and subscribe if you haven't done so.
We will see you guys in the next video.
All right, take care.
Ciao.